3:12. Ishtan bogan hivo deva dashyante yagya bhavitaha tardaitan apradayabhyo yobhunkte stena evasa. Translation. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yagya, sacrifice, supply all necessities to man. But he who enjoys these gifts without offering them to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. 3:13. Yagnya Shishtashina Santo Muchante Sarvakil Bishai Bunjate Tedvagam Papa Ye Pachantyat Makaranat. Translation. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. 3:14. Anad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anasambhavaha yagnyad bhavanti parjanyo yagnyas karma samudbhavaha. Translation. All living bodies subsist on food grains, which are produced from rain. Rains are produced by performance of yagya, sacrifice, and yagya is born of prescribed duties. 3:21. Yad acharati shestas tad eva taro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. Translation. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. 3:27. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasya ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Translation. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. 3:37. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kama Esha Kroda Esha Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha Mahashano Mahapapma Vidhyenam Ihavarinam. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, "It is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all-devouring, sinful enemy of this world." 3:39. Avritam Jnanam Etena Jnanino Nityavarina Kama Rupena Konteya Dushpure Nanalena Cha. Translation. Thus, a man's pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. 3:42. Indriyani paranyahur indriyabhya param manaha manansastu parabudhir yobude paratastutsa. Translation. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. 4:1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Manur Ikshva Kave Bravit. Translation. The Blessed Lord said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivishvan, and Vivishvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. 4:2. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo vidhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashta parantapa. Translation. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it appears to be lost. The science as it is appears to be lost. 4:3. Sa evaya mayatedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto si me sakha cheti rahasyam hya etad uttamam. Translation: that very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend. Therefore, you can understand the transcendental mystery of this science. 4.5. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavakarjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa. Translation: the Blessed Lord said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subduer of the enemy. 4.6. Ejo pisan avyayatma bhutanam ishvaro pisan prakritim svam adishtaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. Translation: although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. 4.7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadamanam shijam yaham. Translation: whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. BG 4.8. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Translation: in order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. 4.9. Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mam etiso Arjuna. Translation: one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. 4.10. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavam agataha. Translation: being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. 4.11. Ye yata mam prapadyante tams tataiva bhajam yaham mama manu vartante manusha partha sarvashaha. Translation: all of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pritha. 4.13. Chaturvarnyam maya shishtam guna karma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram api mam vidya kartaram avyayam. Translation: according to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me, and although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. 4.14. Namam karmani limpanti name karma phale spriha iti mam yo bijananti karma birsna sabhadyate. Translation: there's no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. 4.22. Yaricha labha santushto dvandvatito vimatsaraha samasidhav asidhaucha kritvapi na nibadyate. Translation: He who is satisfied with gain which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady both in success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. 434. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Translation: Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. (518) Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavi hastani shuni chaiva svapake cha pandita samadarshinaha. Translation: The humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a learned and gentle brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast. 522. Yehi samsparsha jaboga Dukha yonaya evate adyanta vanta konteya nate shuramate buddhaha. Translation: An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery, which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. 529. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram Suhridam sarva bhutanam yatvamam shantim richati. Translation: The sages, knowing me as the ultimate purpose of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. (6.1) Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiya sansanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyaha. Translation: The Blessed Lord said, One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. (617) Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu Yukta svapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukhaha. Translation: He who is temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. 626. Yato yato nischalati manashchanchalam ashtiram tatastato niyam yaitad Atmanyeva Vasham Nayet. Translation: From whatever and wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. 634. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balavadridam tashyaham nigraham manye Vayor Eva Sudushkaram. Translation: For the mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna, and to subdue it is, it seems to me, more difficult than controlling the wind. 641. Prapya punya kritam lokan ushitva shashvati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga Brirashto bijayate. Translation: The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planet of the pious living entities, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. 647. Yoginam api sarvesham madgati nantar atmanaha shradhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo mataha. Translation. And of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all.